all the stereotypes started getting out, and people want to meet with the other. They wanted to discover the beauty of the diversity of Israel. And this is unique in the region where you have Arabs, Muslims, Arab Christians, Druze, Beta Israel, Ashkenazi, Sephardic Jews, Jews from India, from all over the world. This beauty of diversity in Israel is very unique for our region.
In September 2020, the world saw what had been years, decades in the making. Landmark peace agreements dubbed the Abraham Accords, normalizing relations between Israel and two Arabian Gulf states, the United Arab Emirates and the Kingdom of Bahrain. Later in December, they were joined by the Kingdom of Morocco. 5 years later, AJC is pulling back the curtain to meet key individuals who built the trust that led to these breakthroughs and turning the spotlight on some of the results. Introducing the Architects of Peace.
Well, hello, shalom, salam. For the first time since the historic normalization deal between Israel and the UAE, an Israeli and an Emirati have teamed up to make music.
Ya salam ya baba, ya salam ya mama, ya salam, kul ulad bil alam. Ya salam ya aba, ya salam ya ima, ya salam, kul yalda. You will be friend far away.
The signs have been everywhere. On stages in Jerusalem and in recording studios in Abu Dhabi. On a catwalk in Tel Aviv during Fashion Week, and on the covers of Israeli and Arab magazines. In the kitchens of gourmet restaurants where Israeli and Emirati chefs exchanged recipes. Just days after the announcement of the Abraham Accords, Emirati ruler Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan formally ended the UAE's nearly 50-year boycott of Israel. Though commerce and cooperation had taken place between the countries under the radar for years, the boycott's official end transformed the fields of water, renewable energy, health, cybersecurity, and tourism. In 2023, Israel and the UAE signed a comprehensive economic partnership agreement to advance economic cooperation. And by 2024, commerce between the UAE and Israel grew to $3.2 billion. Trade between Bahrain and Israel surged 740% in 1 year. As one of the world's most water-stressed countries, Bahrain's Electrical and Water Authority signed an agreement to acquire water desalination technology from Israel's national water company. Signs of collaboration between Israeli and Arab artists also began to emerge. It was as if a creative energy had been unlocked and a longing to collaborate finally had the freedom to fly. And by the way, people had the freedom to fly too, as commercial airlines sent jets back and forth between Tel Aviv, Casablanca, Abu Dhabi, and Manama. A gigantic step forward for countries that once did not allow long-distance calls to Israel, let alone vacations to the Jewish state. At long last, Israelis, Moroccans, Emiratis, and Bahrainis could finally satisfy their curiosity about one another. This episode features excerpts from 4 conversations, not with diplomats or high-level senior officials, but ordinary citizens from the region who have seized opportunities made possible by the Abraham Accords to pursue unprecedented partnerships. For Mehdi Boudra, the Abraham Accords were a dream come true. As a Muslim college student in 2007 at Al-Qawain University in Ifran, Morocco, he founded a group dedicated to preserving and teaching the Jewish heritage of his North African home. Mehdi knew fostering conversations and friendships would be the only way to counter stereotypes and foster a genuine appreciation for all of Morocco's history, including its once thriving Jewish community of more than 100,000. 5 years later, Mehdi's efforts flourished into a nonprofit called Mimouna, the name of a Moroccan tradition that falls on the day after Passover, when Jewish and Muslim families gather at each other's homes to enjoy cakes and sweets and celebrate the end of the Passover prohibitions, together.
Our work started in the campus to fill this gap between the old generation who talk with nostalgia about Moroccan Jews and the young generation who don't know nothing about Moroccan Judaism. Then in the beginning, we focused only on the preservation and educating and the promotion of Jewish heritage within campuses in Morocco. In 2011, we decided to organize the first conference on the Holocaust in the Arab world.
So did the Abraham Accords make any difference in the work you were already doing? I mean, I know Mimouna was already a longtime partner with AJC.
With Abraham Accords, we thought bigger. We brought young professionals from Morocco and Israel to work together in certain sectors on challenges that our regions are overcoming, like environment, climate change, water scarcity, and innovation. But we included also other participants from Emirates and Bahrain. This was the first one that we started with. The second was with AJC. We invited also young professionals from the United States and France, which was an opportunity to work globally, because today we cannot work alone. We need to borrow power from each other. If we have the same vision and the same values, we need to work together. In Morocco, we say, one hand, don't clap. We need both hands. And this is the strategy that we have been doing with AJC to bring all the partners to make sure that we can succeed in this mission. We had another people-to-people initiative. This one is with university students. It's called Youth for MENA. It's with an Israeli organization called Noal. And we try to take advantage of the Abraham Accords to make our work visible, impactful, to make the circle much bigger. Israel is a country that is part of this region, and we can have what Israel can offer good things to our region. It can fight against the challenges that we have in our region. And Israeli is like an Iraqi. We can work all together and try to build a better future for our region at the end of the day.
El Mehdi, when you started this initiative, did you encounter pushback from other Moroccans? I mean, I understand the Accords lifted some of the restrictions and opened doors, but did it do anything to change attitudes? Or are there detractors still to the same degree?
Before the Abraham Accords, it was more challenging. To preserve Moroccan Jewish heritage in Morocco, it was easier. To educate about Holocaust, it was also okay. But to do activities with civil society in Israel, it was very challenging. Because first of all, there is no embassies or offices between Morocco then to travel. There is no direct flights. There is the stereotypes that people have about you going to Israel. With the Abraham Accords, we could do that very freely. Everyone was going to Israel. And more of that, it was becoming like a tendency to go to Israel. Like Moroccans, they started wanting to spend their vacation in Tel Aviv. They were asking us as an organization. We told them we are not a tour guide, but we can help you. But they wanted to travel, to discover the country. All the stereotypes started getting out, and people want to meet with the other. They wanted to discover the beauty of the diversity of Israel. And this is unique in the region where you have Arabs, Muslims, Arab Christians, Druze, Beta Israel, Ashkenazi, Sephardic Jews, Jews from India, from all over the world. This beauty of diversity in Israel is very unique for our region. And it's not granted in this modern time. As you can see in the region, you can see what happened in Iraq, what's happening in Syria for minorities. Then, this gives us hope. We need this hope in these dark times.
What do you mean? How does Israel's diversity provide hope for the rest of the Middle East, North Africa region?
Since the MENA region lost its diversity, we lost a lot. It's not the Christians or the Yazidis or the Jews who left the MENA region who are in bad shape. It's the people of the MENA region who are in bad shape, because those people, they immigrated to the US, to Sweden, they have better lives, but who lost is those countries. Then us, as the majority Muslims in the region, we should reach out to those minorities. We should work closely today with all countries, including Israel, and to build a better future for our region. There is no choice. And we should do it very soon, because nothing is granted in life, and we should take this opportunity of the Abraham Accords as a real opportunity for everyone. It's not an opportunity for Israel or the people who want to have relation with Israel. It's an opportunity for everyone, from Yemen to Morocco.
Morocco has had diplomatic relations with Israel in the past, right? Did you worry, or do you still worry that the Abraham Accords will fall apart as a result of the Israel-Hamas war?
Yes. To tell you the truth, yes. After the 7th of October, and things were going worse and worse, and like we said, the war will finish, and it didn't finish. And I thought that probably with the tensions, the protests, will cut again the relations. But Morocco didn't cut those relations. Morocco strengthened those relations with Israel, and also spoke about the Palestinians' cause in the same time, which I'm really proud of my government decisions to not cut those relations. And we hope to strengthen those relations, because now they are not going in a fast dynamic. We want to go back to the fast time when things were going very fastly. When United States signed with the Emirates and Bahrain in September 2020, I was hoping that Morocco will be the first, because Morocco had strong relation with Israel, and we had direct relations in the 19s, and we cut those relations after the second Intifada in 2000. We lost those 21 years, but it's not late now. We are working. The 7th of October happened. Morocco is still having relation with Israel. We are still having the Moroccan government and the Israeli government having strong relations together. Of course, initiatives to people are less active because of the war. But, the war will finish very soon, we hope. And the hostages will go back to their homes, inshallah. And we will get back to our lives. And this is the time for us as civil society to do stronger work and to make sure that we didn't lose those 2 years.
يا سلام يا قيمة يا سلام يا سلام كل يلدينا You hear me friend far away You hear my prayer I hear you friend far away I hear you friend
Just weeks after the White House signing ceremony on September 15, 2020, Israeli music producer Gili Masami posted a music video on YouTube. The video featured a duet between a former winner of Israel's version of The Voice, Elkanah Marciano, and Emirati singer Walid Al-Jassim. The song's title, Alan Bik, an Arabic greeting translated as Hello Friend. In under 3 weeks, the video had garnered more than 1.1 million views.
When I saw Bibi Netanyahu and Trump sign this contract, the Abraham Accords, I said, wow, because always my dream was to fly to Dubai. And when I saw this, I said, oh, this is the time to make some project that I already know how to do it. So I thought to make the first historic collaboration between Israeli singer and Emirati singer. We find this production company and they say, okay, we did this historic collaboration. And the first thing it was that I invite the Emirati people to Israel. They came here, I take them to visit Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, and then I get a call to meet in JETEX Technology Week in the World Trade Center in Dubai.
GTEX, that's the Gulf Information Technology Exhibition, one of the world's largest annual tech summits, which met in Dubai that year and invited an Israeli delegation for the first time.
They tell me, listen, your song, it was big in 200 countries, covered worldwide. We want you to make this show. I said, okay. We came to Dubai, and then we understand that the production company is the family of Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the president of UAE. And now we understand why they agree. The brother of Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Sheikh Isa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, he had this production company. This singer, it's his singer. And we say, wow, we get to this so high level. We are with the government of Dubai. And then all the doors open in Dubai. And then it was the Corona, like 200 countries around the world cover this story, but we can't do shows because this Corona issue. But we still did it first.
The song Alan Bik translates to Hello Friend. It was written by Israeli songwriter Doron Madali. Can you tell our listeners what it's about?
The song Alan Bik, this song speaks about the dream, because if we go to the Bible, they are cousins. They are cousins. And because of that, we call this Abraham Echo, because of Abraham. And they are sons of Ishmael, and we are sons of Jacob. So because of that, we are from back in the days, and this is the real cousins. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Morocco, they are the real ones. And this song speak about this connection.
After Morocco joined the Abraham Accords, you also put together a collaboration between Elkanah and Moroccan singer Sana Mohammed. But your connection to UAE continued. You actually moved to Dubai for a year and opened a production company there. I know you're back in Israel now, but have you kept in touch with people there?
I have a lot of friends in UAE, a lot of friends. I have production company in UAE too. But every time we have these problems with this war, so we can't do nothing. I was taking a lot of groups to Dubai, make tours, parties, shows, and all this business stuff because this war. So we're still friends.
Given this war, do you ever go back and listen to the song Al Anbik for inspiration, for hope?
I don't look about the thinking that way, these things. I know what I did, and this is enough for me. I did history. This is enough for me. I did good thing, and this is enough for me. I did the first collaboration, and this is enough for me.
Moroccan pilot and music aficionado Karim Taissir also knows the power of music. In 2016, he reached out to Tom Cohen, the founder and conductor of the Jerusalem Orchestra East and West, and invited him to Morocco to conduct Symphionette, an orchestra of 40 musicians from around the world playing Jewish and Arab music from Morocco's past that often has been neglected.
In 2015, I contacted Tom via Facebook because of a story that happened in Vietnam. I was in a bar, and in this bar, the owner tried to connect with people, and the concept was a YouTube session connected on the speaker of the bar, and they asked me to put some music from their countries. So when he asked me, I put something played by Tom. It was Moroccan music played by the orchestra of Tom. And people said, wow. And I felt the impact of the music in terms of even like the ambassador role. So that gave me the idea back Morocco. I contacted him. I told him, listen, you are doing great music, especially when it comes to Moroccan music, but I want to do it in Morocco. So are you ready to collaborate? And you should tell me what do you need to create orchestra that can do this excellency of music. And I don't know why he replied to my message, because usually he got lots of messages from people all over the world. But it was like that. So from that time, I start to look of musician and all condition asked by Tom. And in 2016, in April, we did 1 week of rehearsals. It was a residence of a musician in Casablanca by Royal Foundation Hiba. And this is how it starts. And from that time, we tried every year to organize concerts. Sometimes we succeed and sometimes not.
I asked this of El Mehdi too. Since you were already doing this kind of bridge building, Karim, did the Abraham Accords change anything for you?
In 22, we did a great collaboration. It was a fusion between the two orchestras under the conductor Tom Cohen in Timna Desert, with the presence of many famous people, politicians, and it was around like more than 4,000 people. And the president Herzog himself was there, and we had a little chat for that. And even the program, it was about a piece, since there was Moroccan music, Israeli music, Egyptian music, Greek music, Turkish music, and it was very nice. 80 musicians on the stage.
Oh, wow, 18 musicians. You know, the number 18, of course, is very significant or meaningful for the Jewish tradition. So this was a combination of Israeli musicians, Moroccan musicians, playing music from across the region, Turkey, Greece, Egypt, Israel. What did that mean for you? In other words, what was the symbolism of that collaboration and of that choice of music?
Listen, to be honest, it wasn't a surprise for me, the success of collaboration, since there was an excellent artist from Israel and from Morocco. But more than that, the fact that Moroccan Muslims and other people with Israeli musicians, they worked together during every concert, rehearsals. They became friends. And maybe it was the first time for some musicians, especially in Morocco, not talking only about peace, happiness between people. It's very easy in our case because it's people to people.
How have those friendships held up under the strain of the Israel-Hamas war?
Since 7 October, me, for example, I'm still in touch with all musicians from Israel, not only musicians, all my friends from Israel, to support them, to ask if they are okay. And they appreciate, I guess, because I guess some of them, even before they have friends from all over the world, but sadly, it's not the case for us. It's more than friendships. And if I don't care about them, which means it's not true friendships. And especially Tom. Tom, it's more than more than brother. So, and we are looking forward very soon to perform in Israel and in Morocco very soon.
So I should clarify for listeners that Symphionette is not your full-time job. Professionally, you are a pilot for Royal Air Maroc. And a week after that concert in Timna National Park in March 2022, Royal Air Maroc launched direct flights between Casablanca and Tel Aviv. Those flights have been suspended during the war, but did you get to fly the route?
They call me the Israeli guy. So since I like very much to be there, because I was kind of ambassador since I was there before, and I'm trying always to explain people when you will be there, you will discover other things. Before 7 October, I did many, many, many flights as captain. And now we're waiting, not only me, all my colleagues, because really, really, like me, I've been in Israel since 2016. But all my colleagues, the first time it was during those flights. And all of them, they had a really nice time, not only by the beauty of the Tel Aviv city, but also they discover Israeli people. So we had really, really, very nice memories from that period, and hoping that very soon we will launch flight.
Chef Gal Ben Moshe, the first Israeli chef to earn a Michelin star for his restaurant in Berlin, remembers the day he got the call to speak at Gulf Food 2021, a World Food Festival in Abu Dhabi. That call led to another call, then another, and then another. Before he knew it, Chef Gal's 3-day trip to the United Arab Emirates had blossomed into a 10-day series of master classes, panel discussions, catered dinners, and an opportunity to open a restaurant in Dubai.
Like I said, it wasn't just one dinner, it wasn't just a visit. It's basically from February 21 to October 23. I think I've been more than 6-8 times in the Emirates, like almost regularly cooking dinners, doing events, doing conferences. And I cooked in the Dubai Expo when it was there. I did the opening event of the Dubai Expo. And a lot of the things that I did there, I love the place, I love the people. I got connected to a lot of people that I really, truly miss.
When we first connected, you told me that the Abraham Accords was one of your favorite topics. Why?
I always felt kind of like connected to it because I was the first Israeli chef to ever cook in Dubai. And it's one of the most influential times of my life, basically going there and being there throughout basically everything from the Abraham Accords up to October 7th, to the degree that I was supposed to open a restaurant there on the 1st of November 2023, which, as you probably know, did not happen in the end. And I love this place, and I love the idea of the Abraham Accords. And I've had a lot of beautiful moments there, and I've met a lot of amazing people there. And in a way, talking about it is kind of me missing my friends less.
So you were originally invited to speak at Gulf Food. What topics did you cover, and what was the reception like?
The journalist that interviewed me is a great guy. He asked me, okay, so where do you want to cook next? And I said, like, if you would ask me 6 months ago, I would say that I would love to cook in Dubai, but it's not possible. So this happened, like anything can happen, right? Like if you would tell me in June 2020 that I would be cooking in Dubai in February 2021, I'm not sure I was going to believe you. It was very secretive, very fast, very surprising. And I said, I would love to cook in Damascus and Beirut because it's two places that are basically very influential in the culture of what is the pan-Arabic kitchen of the Levant. So a lot of the food influence, major culinary influence, comes from basically Aleppo, Damascus, and Beirut. Basically, this area is the strongest influence on food. A lot of Jordanians are probably going to be insulted by me saying this, but this is like culinary Mecca, in my opinion. And I said it, and somebody from the audience shouted, "I'm from Beirut, you can stay at my place." And I was like, it's just amazing. And the funny thing is, and I always talk about it, is, I talk about my vegetable suppliers in Berlin and everything, and the Syrian chefs and Palestinian chefs. and Lebanese chefs that I met in the Emirates that became friends of mine. And I really have this thing, as like, I'm going to say it, is that we have so much in common. It's crazy how much we have in common. You know, we have this war for the past 2 years with basically everyone around us. But I think that when we take this thing out of context, out of the politics, out of the region, out of this border dispute or religious dispute or whatever it is, and we meet each other in a different country, we have so much in common. And sometimes, I dare say, more than we have in common with ourselves as an Israeli society. And it's crazy how easy it is for me to strike a conversation and get friendly with a Lebanese or with a Palestinian or with a Syrian if I meet them in Berlin or in Dubai or in New York or in London.
I should clarify, you run restaurants in Tel Aviv, but the restaurant that earned a Michelin star in 2020 and held on to it for 4 years was Prism in Berlin. Tel Aviv was going to be added to the Michelin Guide in December 2023, but that was put on hold after the start of the Israel-Hamas war. Did your time in the Emirates inspire recipes that perhaps landed on your menu at Prism?
I was approached by a local journalist that wrote cookbooks, and that he did a special edition cookbook for 50 years for the Emirates. And he wanted me to contribute a recipe. And I did a dish that ended up being a Prism signature dish for a while of camel tartare with caviar, quail yolk, grilled onion, and it was served in this buckwheat tartlet. And at the time, it's a concept dish. So basically the story is this whole story of Dubai. So you have the camel and the caviar, so between the desert and the sea. And then you have the camel, which basically is the nomadic background of Dubai with the Bedouin culture and everything. And the caviar, which is this luxurious, futuristic, what Dubai is today. And it was really a dish about the Emirates. And I was invited to cook it afterwards in a state dinner, like with a very high-end hotel, with very high-end guests. And basically the chef of the hotel, who's a great guy, is like write me an email and is like, I'm not going to serve camel in this meal. And I was like, but it's the whole story, it's the whole thing. And he's like, but what's wrong with Wagyu beef? It's like, we're in Dubai. Wagyu beef is very Dubai. And I was like, not in the way that the camel is in that story. Listen, for a chef working there, it's a playground, it's heaven. People there are super curious about food, they're open-minded. And there's great food there, there's a great food scene, there are great chefs working there. I think some of the best restaurants in the world are right now there. And it was amazing.
There have been other Israeli chefs who opened their restaurants in Dubai before October 7th. I know Chef Eyal Shani opened with North Miznon in a Hilton hotel in Dubai. You recently closed Prism, which really was a mom-and-pop place in Berlin, and you've now opened a hotel restaurant in Prague. Would you still consider opening a kitchen in Dubai?
I have not given up on the Emirates in any way. Like I've said, I love it there. I love the people there. I love the atmosphere there. I love the idea of being there. I would say that there is complexities, and I understand much better now in hindsight of these 2 years of why basically October 7th meant that much. I live in Berlin for 13 years, and I work with my vegetable suppliers for the past, I would say, 9 or 8 years, and they're Palestinians and Syrians and Lebanese and everything. And even though October 7th happened and everything that's happened afterwards, we're still very close, and I would still define our relationship as very friendly and very positive. The one thing is that I don't know, but I think it's because we know each other from before, and I don't know if they would have taken the business of an Israeli chef after October 7th. So having known me and that I'm not a symbol for them, but I am an individual for them, is easier because we're friends. We worked together, let's say, for 5 years before October 7th. It's not going to change our relationship just because October 7th happened. But I think what I do understand is that sometimes our place in the world is different when it comes to becoming symbols. And there are people who don't know me and don't know who I am or what my opinions are, how I view the world. And then I become just a symbol of being an Israeli chef. And then you are this, and nothing you can say at that moment changes it. So I don't think that me opening a restaurant in Dubai before October 7th was a problem. I do understand that an Israeli chef opening a restaurant in Dubai after October 7th was not necessarily a good thing. Like, I can understand how it's perceived as, in the symbolism kind of way, not a good thing. So I think basically when this war is over, I think that the friendship is there. I think the connection is there. I think the mutual respect and admiration is there. And I think that there is no reason that it can't grow even further.
In our next episode, expected to air after the high holidays, we discuss how the Abraham Accords have held during one of Israel's most challenging times and posit which Arab countries might be next to join the historic pact. Thank you for listening. Atara Lakritz is our producer. TK Broderick is our sound engineer. Special thanks to Jason Isaacson, Sean Savage, and the entire AJC team for making this series possible. You can subscribe to Architects of Peace on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And you can learn more at ajc.org/Architects of Peace. The views and opinions of our guests don't necessarily reflect the positions of AJC. You can reach us at podcasts@ajc.org. If you've enjoyed this episode, please be sure to spread the word and hop onto Apple Podcasts or Spotify to rate us and write a review to help more listeners find us.